Okay, so as you all know, today is Student Success Day. We had a wonderful, wonderful presentation earlier from Michael Spence, who's in attendance with us here. All right, and we're going to follow it up with another amazing workshop that will put you on the path to success. Sandy Choute is a VP segment analyst at Merrill Lynch, overseeing the strategy and business planning for 600 plus financial advisors within the firm. After spending nearly a decade in corporate finance, Sandy was fueled by her passion for personal development and built a private coaching practice to empower millennials with the necessary tools and strategies to enhance their lives. Sandy is a certified life coach and motivational speaker who helps millennial entrepreneurs and working professionals bridge the gap between where they are today and where they aspire to be. Through a combination of one-on-one coaching, video courses, workshops, and live discussion calls, Sandy helps clients do the necessary work to reprogram their limited belief systems in order to design a life that brings them true happiness and fulfillment. Sandy works with different organizations to empowering their employees and was recently featured in Essex magazine. In her spare time, Sandy loves to travel with her husband, get together with family and friends, and immerse herself in self-development books and podcasts. Let's give it up for our special guest, Sandy Choute.
Good afternoon, everyone. And you guys hear me? Yes. And thank you so much for being here today. I am super excited to be here with you all today. As a Newark native, this is very important to me. I grew up right down the street on Broad Street. I went to middle school in Newark, moved to Bloomfield, and then moved back to Newark too. So this is really a full circle moment for me because Newark really laid a powerful foundation in the woman that I am today and just the valuable lessons that I learned along the way. So thank you again for having me. Before we get started, I just want to take a moment and celebrate your Director of Student Life and Activities, Jamel Brigham. It's Jamel, the work that you're doing with these students and just your faculty all together, guys. I've been here since this morning and I got to talk to a few of your professors and leaders here, and you guys really have an awesome team on your behalf. So thank you again to the faculty and the staff here. Definitely appreciate all the work that you guys are doing. So today we are going to talk about goal setting. Now, we're not just going to talk about goal setting just for the sake of setting goals. We're going to talk about the power in setting intentional goals. So by show of hands, I know it's the new year. How many of you have set a goal for yourself in 2020? All right, I see some hands. Fabulous. It's the new year. I know a lot of us are in the new year, new me phase. Any of y'all? Yep. And a lot of people are going around setting goals. But today, I really want to focus on setting goals that bring you closer to the man or the woman that you aspire to be. So I'm not just talking about goals that just sound good. I'm talking about the goals that stir up your stomach and really light your soul on fire. The kind of goals that you'll look back 10, 15 years from now and say, I did that, and it meant something for me to accomplish those goals. And I really hope that you guys will walk away with a lot of information here. I see a few of you walking in. Thank you for joining us. As we're going through, I recommend that all of you just take notes. If there's anything that we talk through that resonates with you or anything that you find valuable, just write down those notes and jot it down as you're going. And if there's anything that you hear today that you may have already heard before, I just encourage you to listen with a different ear. I know a lot of times we hear certain things over and over again, but you never know when a specific message may resonate with you differently. So today, just be open. We're gonna have some fun. So I give you guys full permission to loosen up. Let's talk through this and let's really enjoy ourselves today. All right, so to kick it off, now bear with me, I'm gonna learn how to work this thing, I promise. Okay. All right, so by show of hands, how many of you in this room want to be successful? Awesome. See some hands. All right. Now, I'm going to ask you again, how many of you in this room can honestly say you are committed to being successful? Okay. I saw a change in the hands that went up. Thank you guys for your honesty. All right. So in setting goals, I just want to level set first. Guys, there are people out in the world that have a lot less resources than you have and that are way less smarter than you are, that are accomplishing the exact goals that you set out for yourself. And a lot of it bottles down to one thing, the level of commitment that these people have. So today, I'm going to talk to you guys about setting goals that bring out the best in you. I'm going to teach you a couple of strategies that will help you to be more productive than you have ever been. And we're going to talk about some tools and strategies that people who are committed to being successful use to accomplish their goals. So as we go through this, like I said, I want you guys to loosen up. This is not a monologue. I am not here to just perform for you. This is a dialogue. So I'm asking that you engage with me as I pour into you. Can we do that?
Yes.
Okay, fabulous. Now before we go forward, I've been doing this for some time now. And every time I do a presentation, there are two groups of people in the audience. The first group, I call them the watchers. And the other group are the doers in the audience. The watchers are the people that walk into the presentation. They're not really interested in what we're doing. They don't really pay attention. They don't engage in the conversation. And the minute they walk out of that door, they forget every single thing that we spoke about in this presentation. It never happened. But on the flip side, we've got the doers in the group. The doers are the people that walk into the room eager to learn. They walk in with a fresh perspective. They're engaging. They're really interested in everything that we're doing. But most importantly, they walk out of this presentation and they implement at least one or two things that we do. You have a choice today. You can either be a watcher in this room, or you can be a doer in the room. You guys are all adults. It's completely up to you. But I will share one little secret. The doers in the room are usually the people that go out in life and accomplish amazing things in life. Those are the people that become the high performers and really make an impact in the world. But the watchers end up going through life, just going through the motions, and they never quite reach their full potential because they fail to take action. So today, once again, you have a choice as to which one you want to be in the room. But from what I saw earlier, I think I'm in a room full of doers. So we should be good here. All right, so to kick it off. Okay, so by show of hands, if anyone can just shout it out, what percentage of people do you guys think actually achieve their New Year's goal every year?
10%.
Oh, I heard 10.
10.
And that was in unison, 10, okay.
5%.
5, okay. 15?
20.
20, okay, so I'm hearing some 5s, some 10s, and some 20s, is that right?
2%.
Okay. 2, you have no faith in humanity.
No,
All right, so the correct answer is 8%, so you 10%ers, I see you. So according to the University of Scranton, only 8% of people who set their New Year's goals actually achieve them. This is an astonishing statistic when you think about how many of us actually set goals, and multiple goals a year. Now, to add more salt to injury, I gotta figure out how this might go. The Journal of Clinical Psychology said most people, they did a study and they found that most people they set the same goals 10 times each year, and they never accomplish it. 10 times. When I heard this, I thought it was completely ridiculous. I was like, there's no way. And then I had a moment of reflection. I'm a life coach, so y'all know I have to be real with myself every now and then. And I said, well, Sandy, how many repeat goals have you set in your lifetime? And the first thing that came to mind was the stubborn 10 pounds that I lose and gain every single year. Anybody else have those? Yep, exactly. Now, even as a life coach, I still struggle every now and then with losing weight. So this year I told myself, I'm not losing the weight anymore. I'm releasing it because I don't want to find it anymore. I'm done with it. But in reality, a lot of us struggle when we accomplish our goal, when we try to accomplish any goal that we set for ourselves. And I believe that the reason that many people, we're going to get this quicker. All right. I believe that the reason many people fail at setting their goals is because they set goals based on other people's standards of them. They set goals so they can appear successful in society, so others can look at them and say, all right, you're doing good in life. But in reality, they're not setting any goals that are meaningful to them and the person that they want to become. So just a quick backstory. I grew up in a very traditional African household. My family's from Ghana. And if you know anything about Africans, there are two things that we don't play with. The first is our faith, and second is education. Oh, and jollof rice.
Yes.
We're not, y'all know about jollof? Okay. So growing up in a traditional African household, literally there's immense pressure on who you become as an adult, specifically the career path that you choose. So if you didn't grow up to become a lawyer, an engineer, or an accountant, or a doctor, throw your entire adulthood away. Like you were looked at as a failure by your parents. So growing up, there was immense pressure to follow these career paths and to just study these different subjects that align with becoming a lawyer, a doctor, or engineer. But I was that kid that had zero interest in anything related to that. I hated science, I thought it was so boring. And math just was never my strong suit, full of transparency. I would literally hear numbers and tune people out. The minute you started talking numbers, I just blocked you out because I didn't even want to hear it. That was my fate. But even knowing that, there was still this desire in me because I wanted to accomplish these things. And I looked at my parents, I adore my parents. And I said to myself, if me becoming a doctor or a lawyer is what they view as success, then that's the career path that I need to choose. But deep down inside, that's not what I wanted. And there are many people, and if anybody's in the room, feel free to be honest here. How many of you have set a goal based on what you thought people wanted to see you do versus what you truly wanted to do as an individual? Thank you for your honesty. I think we've all been there at some point. So a big part of setting intentional goals is really, and you don't need to keep up with the Kardashians or the Joneses, which is what a lot of people do. But a big part of setting goals is really looking to set intentional goals. Goals that will bring you closer to the person that you aspire to become. Goals that bring you true fulfillment in life and that really mean something to you as an individual, and not goals that you set to just try to please other people. And I think that's what makes traditional goal setting broken, because people wake up and say, all right, I'm 40 years old, I should be married with 3 kids right now. And in reality, who sets that standard? Like, there's nothing in any book that says you have to be at a certain level of success or you have to accomplish certain things in order to be successful. So, and I do this with my clients, I'm going to take you guys on a quick exercise. I think in order for you to set an intentional goal, it's important for you to look within, find out what it is that you want as a human being outside of what anyone else says. Identify what that ultimate life vision is for yourself, and then walk yourself backwards to bridge the gap between where you are today and where you aspire to be. So I'm going to take you guys on a quick exercise. I do this with my clients. It's called creating a life vision for yourself. And if you've never done this, I just ask that you guys open yourself up. Be completely honest with you. This is a personal journey that you're going on. No one else needs to, know what you're doing. But just open it up and let's go through this exercise together. So if you don't mind, can you just throw on some guided meditation music for me? And while we're setting it up, I just want you guys to relax. So put down your pens, sit back in your chairs, relax, get comfortable in whatever way you are the most comfortable. And do me a favor and just close your eyes. Everyone in the room, just close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath in and release. Take another deep breath in and release. All right, our music. Yes. All right, as we're waiting for that, I just want you guys to imagine yourself, eyes closed. Just take a moment and imagine yourself walking on a beach. It's a beautiful sunny day. You feel the ocean breeze. You're just taking in the breath and the air as you walk along the beach. Now, as you envision yourself, I want you to imagine that it is 5 years from today. So it's January 30th, 2025. And on this day, every single one of your dreams have come true. I see some smiles. As a matter of fact, you've surpassed those dreams. Balling, that's right. So anything that you thought would be your definition of success, you're way past that. You have gotten to a point in life where you feel like you have arrived. Now, as you are envisioning that, I just want you to look at the person that you see and try to describe them in your imagination. What do they look like? What are certain characteristics that they exhibit as a person? How do they look physically? What is their mentality right now? What mindset do they have? How do the people that they know and the people around them react to them? When they walk into a room, what happens? Sit with it for a moment. I want you guys to just take in that 5-year version of yourself. This is the best version of yourself that you can imagine. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Take it all in. And slowly, I'm going to count to 3. And on the count of 3, I want you guys to open your eyes. 3, 2, 1. Good morning. All right. So there's a lot of power in doing this exercise, and I shortened it a little bit for you today just because of the sake of time. But does anyone care to share just anything that you saw yourself doing?
I own my own business.
Uh-huh.
Was married, and
She said she owned her own business, she was married, and she had a nice home and a car. Right.
yes.
And what? And kids. Yes. Anyone else?
Directing.
Directing. Okay. Directing movies, directing what?
Movies, documentaries.
Fabulous. Okay.
Sitting in director's chair.
Sitting in the director's chair. That's excellent. Okay. One more person. Yes.
I owned a large office building.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, I think it was real estate.
It was real estate. Okay.
Talk college.
And you owned it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fabulous. One more person. Yes.
Being free from Harbor House.
From being free from what?
Harbor House.
Harbor House. Okay.
Yes. When I woke up, I went in my refrigerator just now.
So that's great. Thank you guys so much for sharing that. So the reason we do this exercise is really for a couple of reasons, right? First and foremost, let me start by saying I am not interested in who you are in this very moment. Sounds harsh. I don't care about who you are today. My interest is the person that you are becoming. I'm here to speak to the giant in you. I'm here to call forth your greatness. I'm not here to look at you and say, this is what your current circumstance looks like, therefore I'm going to judge you based on that. No. I want to know where you're going. And an important part about doing this exercise is you need to be able to see where you're going, right? So that's the second piece of it. Before you can envision any dream or before you can accomplish any dream, it is absolutely critical that you know where you want to go. If you don't know what your end goal is, you're riding around in circles at this point. You don't know where you're going. And the power of visualization, I've had a personal encounter with this. So about 3 or 4 years ago, prior to me doing any of this, I used to take the train to work. I work out in Hamilton, New Jersey, and I lived in Newark. So my train ride was about an hour long each way, you can only imagine. And every day, as I sat on the train, I would sit there, close my eyes, and I would just go on a journey in my mind. And I would visualize myself standing on a stage, very similar to this, talking to people, helping them, and really just coaching them in different things that they can do in life. Now, this started as just something I did to pass time. It was an hour long. I'm like, all right, whatever. But after doing it every single day, twice a day, on my way to work and on my way from work, the images started getting more and more vivid. And I started seeing more details in this visualization that I would do. It got so vivid to a point where I can feel what the stage felt like. I could see the lights in the room shining on me. I could see people's faces and the reactions that they were giving me as I stood on the stage. Now, as I was doing this, I had no idea what I was doing. It was just my imagination running wild. But I always asked myself, if I had no limitations, what would I do? And this is what really triggered that visualization. Now, there was another thing that was happening. I do a lot of study around neuroscience and how the brain works. And what I didn't realize that I was doing in that moment was that I was rewiring my brain to perceive what is possible for me. And that is such a critical part, because what started out as an exercise just on the train, here I am today, standing in front of you guys, doing exactly what I envisioned myself doing. Thank you. I say this to share with you guys that anything that you put your mind to is absolutely possible for you, but you have to be able to see it first. And that's what makes this really powerful. And last but not least, when you guys did this visualization, let me ask you this. Was there anyone else that saw what you saw in your mind? No, right? Not a single person. Your neighbor didn't see what you were imagining, or neither did you, right? Yes, they did. Someone else saw what you were looking at? Who was it?
Everybody that's in Harbor House.
Oh,
They ain't seen that vision.
my Harbor House crew over here.
They ain't seen that vision. They want to get out of Harbor House. I know they do.
Well, except for you guys. I'm just kidding. But the thing that I want you guys to remember is that your vision belongs to you. Not a single other person is entitled to your vision but you. And when you are out there chasing your dreams and accomplishing your goals, I promise you, you will have people that will continue to try to deter you from your goal. You'll have people that look at you and say, you can't do that. You're from Newark. You are a man. You are a woman. You are a colored man or woman. You cannot accomplish these things. And it is absolutely critical, you guys, for you to protect your vision like your life depended on it. Anything that you're imagining that you can't even perceive is possible for you. We're standing here today on cell phones, which people thought were impossible back in whatever year the phone was invented, right? No one ever thought we would be connected by social media in the way that we are. But here we are living someone else's dream and someone else's imagination. So it's absolutely critical, guys, as you're doing this, protect your vision. Don't let anyone talk you out of it. Understand that your vision belongs to you and only you. And one last thing, I want you guys to repeat after me. Your dreams happen twice.
Dreams happen twice.
First in your mind,
First in your mind,
and first in reality.
first in reality.
Anything that you want to accomplish, you have to be able to see it first, and then carry out the steps that you need to take. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the next step, after you have identified what your life vision is, the next thing that you need to do is determine and ask yourself, what is your big why? Now, before you accomplish any goal, guys, it's important for you to ask yourself and find a reason that will push you to accomplish that goal. And the first thing you need to do is write that why down. Write it down, put it somewhere that you can see every day. But in determining what your why is, it's important for you to ask yourself, what does it mean to me to accomplish this goal? What will it cost me if I don't accomplish this goal? Why do I need to accomplish this? This isn't just a want. Why do I need to make this happen? And every time you ask yourself that why, go deeper. But why? You know how you have a little kid who, asks you a question and you tell them something and they're like, but why? But why? Yep, that's what you need to do. Go deeper and deeper, because your why is going to be the determining factor when it comes down to you waking up earlier in the morning than you needed to. When it comes down to you pushing past any failures or obstacles that you encounter. Your why is going to be that thing that taps you on the shoulder when you're ready to give up. And you fail 500 times and it pushes you to give it one more attempt and give it another attempt to go forward. Your why is that thing that fuels you to accomplish your goal. Do not take it lightly, and once you identify what that is, it's important for you to write it down. Repeat after me. Purpose fuels persistence,
Purpose fuels persistence.
and reasons drive results.
Reasons drive results.
All right, let's say it together. Purpose fuels persistence,
Purpose fuels persistence.
and reasons drive results.
Reasons drive results.
Convenient, y'all. Purpose fuels persistence,
Purpose fuels persistence.
and reasons drive results. I want you guys to remember that and really ingrain it in your mind.
If you get on the table, they'll remember.
If I get on the table, you're not, I'm I like this crew. You guys are the turn-up crew. Okay. So yes, it's important for you to remember what your why is when you're trying to accomplish any goal, and continue to use it to drive you when the going gets hard. So the next step, now that we understand what we want, we did our vision exercise, we know what we want, all right? The second step, we understand why we want it, all right? And then the third step is what we need to do. This is something that I use with all my clients, which is what I call a 3D checklist. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are setting any goal and it does not pass this 3D test, I need you to stop, go back, and repeat the previous steps. It sounds crazy, but this is the easiest way to make sure that you are on track. What is your drive? What do you want? I'm sorry, what is your desire? Second step, what is the drive? Why do you want the goal? And then the third part, which honestly to me is the easier part, is what you need to do. If you can master step 1 and 2, you're already setting yourself up for success. Because you have your reasoning and you have that drive behind you. Now it's just a matter of doing it, right? Which is easier said than done, but always keep in mind what your 3D checklist is. All right, so now that we understand what we want, why we want it, now we're going to talk about the art of setting the actual goal that you want. All right, so Dr. Gail Matthews, a psychology professor, did a study and realized that if you write down your goals, you are 42% more likely to accomplish your goal. Simply writing it down gives you a 42% head start to accomplishing your goal. A lot of people undermine this, right? People say, oh, I want to accomplish something. They have it in their mind. Yeah, it's great. But write it down. Write it down. Neurologically, there's something that happens when you write down the things that you want. And I'll tell you this right now. I am an avid believer in this. When I want something, you know how people doodle? I write it over again. I am becoming a life coach. I am becoming a life coach. I wrote it down so many times that things started showing up in my life as a result of it. This is not, I know it sounds woo-woo or anything like that, but there's true power in that. Did you have a question about
Do
it?
you encourage vision boards?
Yes, yes. So this is a piggyback off of vision board. When Jamil gave me that generous introduction, Jamil mentioned that I was featured in Essex magazine. In 2017, I created a vision board. Every year, my husband and I get together, we create a vision board. What do we want to accomplish this year? And I put a picture of, it was Michelle Obama sitting on the Essence Festival stage. Every morning I wake up, it's right there. I look at it, go about my business. Didn't think anything of it. A year later, here I was featured in Essence. I didn't even know the article was written for 2 months until it was actually written. But me seeing that image and me accepting it into my spirit that this is something that I wanted, it manifested in my reality. Don't take it lightly, you guys. There's real power in seeing yourself and having a vision board and writing down the goals that you want to accomplish. Me and this clicker are going to... Here we go. All right. So the next step is to create an action plan. So once you understand what you want, once you write down your goal, An action plan pretty much says, what do I need to do? The simplest way to create an action plan, you guys, is just to walk your goal backwards. So let's say I have a goal of losing 50 pounds this year, right? All I have to do is say, all right, by the end of 2020, if I want to lose 50 pounds, how many pounds do I need to lose every month in order to get to that goal? Okay, where are my mathematicians in here? Anybody know? No? Okay. And once you come up with that number, now you walk that backwards. All right, so if it's 5 pounds a week, I told you I hate math. If it's 5 pounds a month, now I need to say, how many pounds do I need to lose every week in order to get to that goal? 1.5, thank you. So that's literally the power of an action plan. Coming out with your annual goal, if it's a 5-year goal, break it down into 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. Walk it down to 1 year, the months, the weeks, down to the days. And it's really important, I think as college students, you guys have a heads up with action plans that you don't even realize. Every time you walk into your class on the first day, what does your professor give you? A syllabus. Guess what that is? An action plan. The syllabus tells you what's due, when it's due, and how to walk yourself back, and the things that you need to accomplish each week, each month, and so on and so forth. That is a clear action plan. All you need to do is fill in a couple of things that you specifically need to do to accomplish those, to hit those deadlines that your professor has for you. It's a really easy way to kind of springboard the action plans that you guys set for yourself. Make sense? I always teach my clients is really anticipating any setbacks that you may face, right? If I'm writing a goal, I want to lose weight. What is a potential setback that may come up? I'm not going to want to wake up and exercise, or I'm going to be too tired to exercise. So what do to counter that? You pack your gym bag on your way to school or on your way to work. You're not even coming home before coming up with any excuses. You're literally having your gym bag with you and going straight to the gym after, work or school or whatever, right? But anticipating those setbacks are so key because it's like a rebuttal to your excuses before you even make them. You know what I mean? So yes, very powerful. Thank you for sharing. So in addition to having an action plan, something that's really important to do is to schedule your activities. And it comes down to those tactical items that you need to do. If you have a goal of getting an A in any class, and I ask you, listen, what do you have scheduled for that goal on next Thursday? If you can't tell me, you're not accomplishing it. I say this to my clients all the time. If your goal is not on your calendar, you are not accomplishing it. And that's simply because you putting it on a planner or a schedule is you committing to accomplishing that goal or to doing something that leads you, brings you closer to your goal. So it's absolutely imperative that you schedule your activities, and you guys all get a planner. A lot of people get a planner when they go to school. Write it down. This is what I need to do for this class. This is what I need to do for myself. This is what I need to do for my business today. Whatever it is that your goal is, write it down. If you look at my calendar, I have a huge calendar at home, and every day it has everything that I need to do, months out. So if I have an event here, it's on there. When I wake up every morning, I see what I need to do. I don't have time or room for excuses when I've already committed to doing X, Y, Z on this day. So definitely something powerful for you guys to keep in mind. All right, so this is a big one. Learn to manage yourself and manage your time. So as college students, you guys are all adults. Gone are the days where your parents are telling you, hey, wake up at this time, go to this class. You're not getting that anymore. And in life, outside of school, in life, it's very critical for you to be able to learn to manage yourself. Managing yourself says you're self-sufficient. You know what you need to do, when you need to do it, and you don't need people pushing you or nagging you to do anything. It's important for you to be able to guide yourself and manage all the things that you need to do. But a second part of that that's really critical is the ability to manage your time. Guys, Mike said it in his presentation earlier, time is the most valuable thing that we all have. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you don't know how much time you have. None of us do. You don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. You don't know what tomorrow holds for you. You don't know what's going to happen when you walk out of this place. And time is the most important currency that you have, but it's the one thing that we waste the most of. And it's important for you guys to remember that what you do with your time determines the type of life that you live. Period. It comes down to what you do with your time. And in managing your time, it's important for you to learn to block time to do the things that are important to you. So time blocking, I live by time blocking, to a sense where sometimes it drives my husband absolutely crazy. But time blocking says, back to scheduling your activities. On Tuesday, from 3 to 4, I'm going to work on my business, whatever that means. In that time, in that allotment, it's uninterrupted time. I'm not gonna do anything else but that one specific thing. I don't like to be thrown off my schedule. Like, you'll really see a bad side of me once you throw me off my schedule. But it's really critical for you to honor that block time that you have. And it could be for anything. Guys, I do this down to the social media time. I have an alert on my phone that tells me you have 1 hour on social media. The minute I get 5 minutes left, I'm like, all right, let me send my DMs, let me do whatever it is that I need to do, because my time is winding down. But if you can get to a space, and it doesn't have to be for everything, but for your goal specifically, if you can block out a specific allotted time that you are going to work on one specific goal every day, I promise you your life is going to change. I promise. I am a living testament of that. Because the things you do, once again, lead to the life that you live. The second part of time blocking is blocking time bullies. You want to know what time bullies are? Those things right here. Social media. The pop-up notifications. Ding, 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 ding. I turn off my push notifications because they create a false sense of urgency. Just because someone sent you a message on social media does not mean you have to drop what you're doing to answer it right now. We're not saving lives on social media. I mean, some people maybe, but we're not. Right? Just because you get a text message from someone does not mean you have to answer it right now unless it's an emergency. Time bullies are people that interrupt you from doing the specific things that you set out to do for yourself. And they throw you off your course. How many of you have been on your phones and you look up and 2 hours have passed and you have no idea what you did? Definitely been there. Yep. Block your time, block your bullies, honor the allotments that you have for the specific things that you want to accomplish. All right. So now, I just want to have a real moment with you guys. I hope you don't hate me after. But I want to remind you guys that failure is inevitable. It doesn't matter how many times you schedule your dreams. It doesn't matter if you do your life vision, if you write down your goals, if you block your time and block your time bullies. At some point in life, each and every one of you will encounter some level of failure. It's a part of life. Whether it's failing a test, or failing in your business, or failing in your marriage, or in your relationship, we all encounter failure. But the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is how they relate to failure. It's the relationship that they have with failure. Unsuccessful people experience failure, and it stops them dead in their tracks. Oh, I failed. I'm a failure. This is it. I'm not doing it anymore. On to the next. But successful people have a very healthy relationship with failure. They understand that when you're playing big in life, and I'm not talking about going through the motions. When you're playing big in life, you will encounter failure one way or another. There's no way of going around it. And successful people, they fail often. They make it their priority. Every time there's a failure, they're like, all right, great. This stopped me dead in my tracks. I'm going to learn from it and move on. Because they understand that it is within your failures that your lessons lie. It's when you fail that you grow. It's not when things are peachy and keen and sweet. No, there's no growth happening. When you're uncomfortable, when you get knocked down and it stings deep down in your belly, that's when you start growing. Because if you're one of the successful people, you start thinking, all right, I took a hit. How do I bounce back from this? What can I do differently in the future that will set me up for success and that I don't have to encounter the same thing ever again? Failure is a part of life, guys. And if you are playing big in life, if you're doing anything that's stretching you and growing you as a person, you're going to fail. Please repeat after me. Anything that is worth doing is worth doing badly at first. If you want to be an NBA player, it's okay to suck when you start playing. If you want to be a musician, it's okay to struggle in the first beginning stages of your career. Anything that you want to do, if you want to be a speaker, it's okay to fail a couple of times. Progress, not perfection. I know a lot of people say, I'm a perfectionist. When I hear that, that tells me, oh, you don't take a lot of action. People who say they're perfectionists do not take action because they wait till everything is perfect. Does perfection exist? No. My motto, progress and not perfection. As long as I am making progress in whatever goal I set for myself, that is literally all that matters. I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna grow. But guess what I'm doing? I'm doing it and not just talking about it. Make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. I think my clicker went out. I think it gave up on me. Did I yell at it too much?
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
What happened to me one time when I set a date and I had it on my wall as to what date I want to have this book be published.
Right.
It didn't come out that year.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I did was I just changed the year
Okay.
and it came out.
See?
It's just got, I had to keep going and I had to push myself to keep going. And so what you said is actually facts, nothing but facts. Just keep going, don't give up.
Thank you so much for sharing that,
Thank you
sis.
so much.
Thank you for sharing that, because it's really important that people hear that.
Yes.
Thank you.
All I
That's
did was
awesome.
change the year.
Right.
Okay, not the year. Okay.
And what would have happened if you didn't change the date and you stopped right then and there? That book would have never been
It would have
published.
never been published. Right.
Right?
Yes.
Exactly. All right, next thing here. Can anyone tell me what any of these logos represent? Just shout them out. What do these logos represent?
Google, Instagram,
Google, Nike,
Twitter, Starbucks.
Facebook, Starbucks.
Do it.
Okay.
Viewers.
Twitter, right? Is there anybody here that does not recognize any of these logos? Right? Can someone tell me why? Are you what? Are you paying attention? They're brands.
Yes.
She said exactly that. They're brands. When you see these logos, you associate something with each of these items that you see because they're brands.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to remind you that you have a personal brand of your own. Every single person in this room has a brand that people associate them with. And whether you like it or not, you're creating your brand every single day by how you show up in the world, by the things that you say out of your mouth, and by the actions and the things that you do. I learned this concept. I was a PR major in college up in Willie P. And I learned about personal branding my sophomore year in school. Sophomore year in school. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's try this thing out. So the next semester came. I walked into one of my classes, walked up to my professor. I said, hi, I'm Sandy. I am absolutely committed to excelling in this class, and I want to go above and beyond, in full transparency, to get an A, but also to get the most out of this class that I can. What are some things that you recommend that I do in order to be successful in this class? First of all, if you want to throw your professors off, go up to them and say something like that. Because initially, he was taken aback. He was like, oh, okay. All right, overachiever. But he said to me, put forth the effort. When something is due, don't hand in anything late, and show up. And when he said show up, he didn't mean just show up in person. He meant show up, be present. So I was like, all right. For every single class that we had, I always made sure I was 5 minutes early to the class. When we had an assignment that was due, overachiever, I handed it in a week early. I mean, I think at times he looked at me and said, all right, this girl's taking it. And I kept this behavior up, a week early, sometimes 3 days early, but I never missed a class. I was never late to class, and I showed up every single day in that classroom. And then we had a group project. Now, if any of you have ever been a part of a group project,
Oh, wow.
okay. Every now and then, you have someone in that group that is a Slacker, right? We had a group of 4 people. I was one of the 4. I had 3 slackers in my group.
So you did
They,
the whole part?
I did the whole thing. They didn't show up to work. They didn't show up to our group meetings. They didn't do anything that they were supposed to. Thankfully, the professor had individual parts in that group project where we handed it in. So even as a group, we had our group project, but you also had individual assignments that you handed in as part of your group. So we did that. And I remember when we had our final presentation, we got up there. The rest of the group were like, "Oh, Sandy, you got this?" All right. They said nothing. At the end of the semester, everyone in that group got a D on that group project. I got an A+. I don't say that to brag, but I say that to say that my professor understood what my personal brand was. He knew that I was showing up every single day, and he saw the caliber of work that I did. And as a result, my grade reflected that. Now, I'm not saying every professor is just going to give you an A for showing up, but I just want you guys to remember that you have a personal brand. And if you're ever unsure about what your personal brand is, ask the people closest to you. Find 3 people close to you and say, "Hey, describe me in 3 words." Now, they may be very generous and lie, yes. Another way, yeah, they will, some will. Another way to find out what your personal brand is to look at why people call you. When your friends pick up the phone, what do they call you with? If you're the person that people call with the latest gossip, the hottest tea, if they call you about sports, or if they call you because they're trying to accomplish a goal, whatever it is that they call you for, that's what you are known for. So if you're the person that's on the other end of every new headline or gossip that comes out, you're the messy friend. Sorry. But it's important for you guys to understand that you have a brand. But the beauty about that is that you can continue to create your brand and change that at any point that you want to. If you don't want to be known for something, start showing up differently. The next step in accomplishing your goals is that you find an accountability partner. An accountability partner is someone that is going to hold you to a higher standard than who you currently are. This is someone that's going to push you and encourage you while you're on the path to your accomplishing your goals, and someone that's really going to be there as a support system for you. Now, I'm going to caution you guys. I know a lot of people like to choose their friends as accountability partners, but whoever you choose needs to be very heavily invested in you. If your goal is losing weight and you were supposed to go to the gym today and you didn't go, and you call your friend and they're like, "Oh, it's all right, girl, you can go tomorrow," that is not an accountability partner. You need someone that is constantly going to hold you accountable. They're going to call you out on your BS and let you know when you're making excuses. Now, the second part of having an accountability partner is understanding your network. So guys, you are all here, your students, you guys are all going through life, and you have people around you that you're going through life with. There is tremendous power in the people that you keep around you and in the network that you build. Looking around at you guys, one of you can be the next Bill Gates in this room. And if you never spoke to that person, you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt that you never got built a relationship with them. Everyone has a special calling on their lives. Everyone has a divine assignment that they're here to do. And if you can build a network of people that are like-minded, people that are going in the same direction as you, you never know how many opportunities will open up for you. I'm going to quickly share a story. When I started working for Bank of America, I started as a sophomore in school, part-time job, just going in. I was always early, worked my butt off. And as I continued in my career, I started realizing that people were calling me and referring me for positions that I didn't even apply for. Someone was like, "Hey, I heard there's a position open here. We see how hard you work. You're always really friendly with us. You want to apply?" I was like, "All right, sure." This became a trend in my career. In the past 6 years, I have had 5 promotions. 5, you can't see my face, none of which I personally applied for. I was always tapped on the shoulder. Now, it's not because I don't work hard, and it's not because I'm not deserving of it, but it's because I'm very intentional about the network that I have around me. Because you're going to build what I call sponsors. They're people who speak on your behalf when you're not in the room. Those sponsors will change your life. They will open up a door for you before you're even here. I am here because of a sponsor here that I didn't even know about. Your network equals your network. And, you know, Mike, you said it earlier. You are the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. If you have 4 broke friends, you're the 5th one. I'm not saying, you know, cut everyone off, but become more intentional about the networks that you build and the people that you surround yourself with. It makes a world of difference. And finally, I just want to remind you guys, as you are on the goal and on the journey of pursuing your goals, run your own race. There are a million people out here that are doing different things that may seem glamorous, may seem wonderful. Understand that in this world of social media, everyone only posts their wins. No one's posting their L's that they're taking every day. People only post their highs. So when you see someone online and they're doing something that looks fabulous or glamorous, understand that you're looking at their highlight reel, but you're comparing your everyday life to someone else's 5-minute edited version that they want you to see. I read a quote one time that says, if you judge a lion by its ability to fly like an eagle, it will always fail. You guys are individuals. You have unique journeys. You have unique visions. Back to what we spoke about. No one can do what you do better than you. But you fail when you start trying to do what others are doing, because that's not authentic. You each have a special gift within you. You are an unrepeatable miracle. Do you understand the magnitude of that? The reason why you only have your fingerprint and not another person in the world, even if you are a twin, has the same fingerprint as you? When you start to realize your internal power and embrace that, the greatness that you are, there's a different walk that you have, and a different bounce that you have when you show up in a room. So I just want to remind you guys, run your race. You are great. You are all brilliant in your own special ways. And whatever you want in life, literally whatever you want in life, you are fully capable of achieving. Before we close it out, can everyone please get on their feet for me? Stand up, shake it off. I know you guys have been sitting for a while. Find a partner, turn around to somebody and face a partner. Find a partner. You can like them, you ain't gotta like them, just look at them. Is everyone facing a partner? I see introductions happening, yes. And if you're the one person left, join a group of 2. Come on, quickly, we only got about 15 seconds to do this. All right, does everyone have a partner? All right. Now, in this moment, looking at your partner, look at your partner, stare them in the eyes. No, I'm just kidding. Look at them. And say to your partner, you are phenomenal. Everything about you is phenomenal. Your eyes, your hair, your spirit, your energy is phenomenal. You are perfect. Even with all of your imperfections, you are perfect. And the beautiful thing about you is that you are enough. You woke up enough. You were born enough. And there's going to come a time that you forget your greatness. And when that time comes, I want you to remember this moment where I stood in front of you and I looked you in the eyes and I reminded you that you are perfect. We are all waiting to be touched by your gift. And your gift is the answer to someone else's problem. I honor you. I celebrate you. And I see you. Hug time. Thank you very much for having me, you guys.
Excuse me, everybody. Please, hold it, right? First, your surveys, all right? Please don't leave. You're going to miss a wonderful opportunity. Your surveys, please make sure that I get those pink slips, all right? Secondly, I wanted to thank you all for joining us, all right? Believe it or not, just by attending any workshop today, you put yourself in a greater position in life. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, all right? Because you may not see it yet at this level, all right? But everything that you want in life, right? There are gonna be other people who want the same thing, all right? So you wanna make sure that you constantly nourish your mental, right? Work on your goals. Stay true to your purpose, all right? Because it is a competition whether or not you believe.
And real quick, guys, I'm going to stay afterwards. If anyone wants to connect with me, I'd love to take some pictures with you guys. And also, if any of you are on social media, oh, it's not up anymore. I love connecting with people on social media, so please send me a message. Say hi to me on social media. I love connecting with you guys after we do this presentation. So just take a screenshot and holler at me on social media.
All right.